You're watching Impact.
We're now visiting with David Miller, who is the writer and director of the movie My Suicide. David, thank you so much for taking time out to talk with us.
Thanks for having me.
David, we're on the set of My Suicide. You wrote this several years ago, and you've been working avidly to bring this to fruition. Tell us about what made you bring this story to the film.
Well, it all started with a group called Regenerate, which is a public service organization that was started here in Thousand Oaks. In December of 2001, there was a tragic car accident on Westlake Boulevard where we lost a couple of great kids. And I've been working with kids and making media with young artists, and was approached by some concerned citizens to see if there wasn't anything we couldn't do to empower youth to communicate messages to their peers in order to stem the tide of car crashes, which are the #1 killer of kids, suicide, which is #2, sadly, and violence is #3, and those are all very closely interrelated. The kids I've been working with have been showing their materials at festivals up at Sundance, and in taking Regenerate Youth 5 years running to the Sundance Film Festival and other film festivals, they became excited by independent film. And so we would sit around and go, well, what movie could we make that would serve our mission but also be a cool picture? So we came up with this picture called My Suicide, which has a teen suicide prevention message. It's a dark, romantic teen comedy about suicide and the healing power of love. We found our inspiration in movies like Harold and Maude and Network, that was about media and its bombardment.
So this particular movie is about Archie as the main character. Tell us a little bit about his position in life and what has drawn him to this really significant decision about possibly taking his life.
Well, Archie is a kid, like many kids, who feels very disconnected. He lives in his the pool house behind his house, and he has just been immersed in media, making films. He has a green screen in his bedroom, like a couple of our Regenerate Youth really do. He's a digital freak, but he's having a hard time separating reality from what he's getting through his media. Things are very different for kids these days. When I was a kid, I wanted to stay out until after dark. These kids are making movies on their desktop. There's a lot of choices. There's a lot of media bombardment. We've learned in our informal surveys to Regenerate that the average age a kid sees hardcore porn now is 9 years old. What does that tell them about love and how sex fits into love? And these kids are having a hard time connecting. But at the same time, parents think these days the kids have everything. They have video games, they have computers. Well, it's too much of everything. And a lot of Archie's angst is what a lot of other kids are going through right now. So when he announces that he's considering suicide for his class video project because he's a filmmaker and he's been making all these movies, then we get to see each group in school taking him in, either to save him or to push him over the edge, whoever that group is, and we see how the society deals with it. And what he really learns at the end of the day is that giving and connection and love and communication and the end of narcissism are the answers to living a great life.
Well, David, I have to ask you, isn't this a bit of a dangerous story to tell, that youth might become copycats or something? How do you take the responsibility you have as a storyteller but still come out with a good product?
Well, it's interesting. We've been very sensitive to that subject and have done a lot of research in that. And we are working with suicide experts. And the big enemy of suicide is silence. And it's those kind of worries that, are kind of causing the rise in suicide. The #1 demographic with increase in suicide is 10 to 14-year-olds. Nobody's talking to these kids. Nobody's bringing it out in the open. And this film is really seeking to shatter the silence. Dr. Edwin Schneidman, who is the world's leading expert on suicide prevention, invented the whole study of suicidology, has endorsed this picture as just what we need out there right now to basically break the silence and starting communicating with our kids. Regenerate has done a number of teen suicide prevention documentaries, one hosted by Mariel Hemingway, and we've interviewed a lot of kids, and it's astonishing how many kids either think about suicide, consider suicide, know somebody who's suicidal, and people just don't realize it. So we definitely know we're on touchy ground, but we think the best thing to do is to bring it out in the open and let kids communicate with each other and with their families so that we can do something about the problem.
Thank you very much for being with us. Our guest has been David Miller, the director and writer of the movie My Suicide.